Hi, guys, and happy new year. Welcome to 2019. So, we're getting back on the Facebook schedule now that the holidays are behind us. We're back into our normal groove. I hope your holiday was good. Mine was good. I got a lot of cool stuff. I got my own big Pickle Rick. I got a little Space Quest figurine, my own moon. Yeah, it was a good month. A good turnout for Christmas for me. So, tonight, we're going to talk about the 2 reasons why it is so bleeping hard to love ourselves. Now, these two components constantly. Hi, Dave. Yeah, Happy New Year to you, too. These two factors are something we don't actually know about. Most people don't discuss them. Most people don't reference them because they're not really understanding the dynamic that's at play within us when it comes to self-love and to really being able to nurture ourselves. Now, this Facebook and tomorrow's Facebook will be in congruence or in alignment with my upcoming workshop that happens this Thursday. So if you're a member of the Codependence to Confidence system, you get automatic access to this. If you want to be a member, the links are posted. That's where we take your codependence, we transform it into confidence by changing what's called the governing value, which most of us have a governing value of shame, and we transform that into love. And then I connect you with the skills that make you able to thrive in your life. So this is part of that system. And you can also enroll if you just want the course itself. Links are in the details. All right. So those 2 reasons, I wrote them down because I'm kind of like dealing with a head cold and kind of foggy. So I apologize if I'm a little spacey. All right. The first one is a concept called reflection. Now, in healthy dynamics where children have parents that are attentive and aware, present with the kid, care about how the child feels, what's going on for them, the parent's going to reflect back to them certain attributes, certain awarenesses. It's going to help the child begin to see and understand themselves in relationship to the parent and to the world around them. Part of that reflection is to help the child nurture a natural sense of love towards themselves. And that would come in the frame of, I adore you. I appreciate you. I'm grateful you're alive. I'm so excited that I get to spend some time with you. I really appreciate your presence, your existence. I'm grateful you're here. I like you. This is where the child begins to go, I'm likable. People like my presence. They like my existence. I'm valued. I'm valuable. Because most children are all children are encoded by their parents to some very large degree early on, and then that tapers off as they become more individuated. But in this process of this reflection, the child is building an equation, because most children are going to start naturally asking a question that says, am I lovable? And especially in toxic situations, that question comes up really, really fast. But in healthy dynamics, it doesn't, because it's already answered. Am I lovable? Do my mom and dad love me? And then it moves to, do my peers like and love me? Because we want to do what's called bond transference at that point. But back to the center. So this reflection helps the child become aware of their value, that they as a person matter. Okay. In toxic situations, toxic dynamics like narcissistic abuse that results, we react to it in a codependent way, for instance, or chronic childhood neglect, which doesn't necessarily mean the parent is overtly abusive or toxic or terrorizing, but they're so unaware and unengaged with their children that the child experiences a lack of reinforcement and reflection. It's just like, I love you, and then they go off and do their thing. They're not actually investing time, energy, focus, and connection with the child. So in this process of reflection, the child gains that sense of value. In the toxic system, we don't get that. In fact, we get an opposite value, especially in toxic systems, and that is, I appreciate you for what you do, not who you are. Let me put that over there. We don't need that. But what you do, I like it. And when we're in what I call a utility or object-oriented relationship like that, we're dealing with someone who does not have the ability or the awareness at that point in time to reference the humanity of another and actually connect to them from the heart. Okay, this is one of the primary reasons the survivors of narcissistic abuse or neglect or toxic relationships, whatever it might be, struggle to love themselves. This is what I struggled with for years until I started breaking it down and going, I was conditioned to give myself permission to love myself when I did the right thing. I call that the love equation. I'm lovable when X, Y, and Z are satisfied or met. We all have this equation in some degree if we have dealt with toxic or neglect systems at some point in our lives. Because love is extremely shaping and extremely powerful to us, and we have to get wise with it and go, ooh, how's this love being transacted? Is it freely available? Is it about who I am, about my presence? Or is it about what I do? Oh, wow, you did this so great. I love you. Oh, if that's chronic in the relationship, red flag, red flag. So reflection is the first issue that comes in this. We were not taught to nurture and appreciate ourselves. We were taught to judge and criticize ourselves because we didn't do it right. We weren't, as we would put it these days, perfect, right? We weren't able to make them feel different or feel better about themselves. Instead, we failed, and that means we're a failure and we don't deserve to be loved. This again is why we struggle to love ourselves, because we're coming from a point of view of perfection, okay? Which leads to reason number 2. In toxic systems, love is the supply that's controlled. I'm going to give you love when you do X, Y, or Z. If you obey me, I'll love you. Love equals obedience. Does that sound familiar? If you love me, keep my commandments. That's a control statement there. Very, very toxic limitation there, guys. Because love isn't going to say that. Real love is never, ever does it say that. So that leads us to the second one. That's permission. We have to earn love. And so if we're trying to love ourselves, our brain is going out into the world, because it's called external orientation. It's out here going, well, who's giving me permission to love ourselves? Who's connecting with us? Who says I'm valuable? Go, oh, that person does. So now for a moment, I can love myself. Right now. Oh, they don't like me. Oh, I messed up. Ooh, they're upset with me. Ooh, they said no. Oh, they're not very happy about something. I can't love myself. I'm not lovable. Does that sound familiar? If so, you're dealing with that transactional system of love, which isn't love at all. It's control. It's approval. And so these are the 2 reasons why we struggle to love ourselves. And that's what I go in deep. We address this in the Nurture Workshop, but we've got to get in there and start to root this out by making love equal love. The equation, the healthy equation of love is I'm lovable, I'm loved. And it just goes around and around and around. It's a circular argument. Because I'm loved and I'm lovable. And I'm loved because I'm lovable, and I'm lovable because I'm loved, and yada, yada, yada. There aren't any rules that define our value anymore. We have to take our value out of the rule spectrum and preserve it, make it sacred. Say, no, my value is off limits. Nobody has a right to come into my territory and define that, okay? Now, in relationships, if people are trying to define your value to them, what they're really doing is defining how you fit in their world. And that's okay. That's normal, because relationships are conditional. They're supposed to be. That's healthy. Love says, hey, I embrace the conditions. I accept that we don't fit, or we do fit, or we fit this way and not that way. Because love is an embracing, honest experience and assessment. It takes in what is real, and it doesn't judge it. It just says, yep, I get it. So these are the 2 reasons why we struggle to really love ourselves. We haven't had proper reflection. We've been taught to value ourselves based on our output. And we have been taught to seek permission by someone else's approval. So when we take these back, we take love back into our authority and give ourselves permission to love ourselves just as we are, just right now, and we're going to be okay. And this is difficult, guys. This is uncomfortable as hell because it's so foreign to us to feel love without earning it, or without having permission, without having the safety of someone else's approval. Instead, we get to hold it just as honest and innocently and openly and vulnerably as it really is. Again, we don't earn the love. We just allow ourselves to feel it without all the earnings, without all the permission and the rules. We can feel it anyway. Even when we feel shame, we feel guilt, we feel like we're a pile of garbage, we can bring love in and we can feel that. And this begins to reshape that governing value I mentioned a few moments earlier that really regulates codependency and attraction to narcissistic, toxic people or unhealthy, unavailable people, whatever it might be. When we take that and we transfer that governing value of shame, worthlessness, to love, to value, the whole game shifts. And this is why I'm a broken record on this. This is how the heal process works. It's why it works. It's why it's effective. And I don't just say effectiveness. I mean, I've got a 98% success rate over 10 and a half years. And I track them, and I track them for years. Not just, oh, you got a great day, there's my success rate. I watch my clients and post clients for years. And 98% of them track out very strongly in that they maintain their growth. They maintain everything that's valuable about them. And they grow and expand in it, and they share it. So that's what you need to look at. Tomorrow I'm going to talk more about how we address these two factors, how we can put them back into power for us, give you another invitation to join the workshop that's happening this Thursday. If you have questions about this, please feel free to reach out about it. Definitely share the video. People you know can value from this. And also, if you really want to get deep in healing this, join the membership, join my online community, Heal and Thrive Beyond Codependency, and reach out if you've got questions. I love to answer them. Hi, oh, my son joined. Hi, Truman. I saw you got some cats. Lucky you. So, yeah, in a real way, love is the foundation of what we need. It's not all of it, but it is absolutely the first step to really transforming our lives into a different direction. So I'll be on tomorrow. I'm going to try to make these more regular. I know I've been bad at that, but we'll see how it goes. Otherwise, you guys, thank you for showing up. Thank you for being a part of this. The links are in the description, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night, guys. Bye-bye.